to the Earthborne Games podcast. I'm back. I am your host, Anders Carlson. Joining me are the Earthborne Rangers, Evan Simonette, Visual Design Director. Hi, Evan.
Hey, Anders.
I like your shirt today.
Thanks.
I
was trying to think of how to describe it because I don't think I've worn something this festive before.
Yeah.
Aside from the brief Hawaiian shirt craze of the late 90s and early 2000s.
Were you in on that?
I guess I was a little bit.
Yeah, you don't go that wild usually.
No.
I myself was slow to start wearing a little bit crazier stuff. Like in high school, this would have been like the craziest thing ever for me to wear. Do you feel that way?
I do, yeah. It's hard to get used to, but it feels good. It's a nice shirt. So.
I love it. You look great.
Thank you.
Go wilder next time. Speaking of wilder, Maxine Newman, lead game designer.
Hello.
At Earthborne Games. Good to see you. I'm sorry that your trademark headphones are not with us.
Yeah. I actually put them back. I should have left them here so I could show the viewers, but my headphones broke, so I don't have my lovely cat ears. Not this time.
So check out the GoFundMe in our description.
If only.
Replace the cat headphones. Do they do anything cat-like inside the speakers or anything?
No.
Does it translate into meows? I'm on fire already.
Then Eris could join in.
Yeah. That'd be great. Last but not least, Andrew Navarro, founder and creative director of Earthborne Games.
Hi, Anders.
Hi. YouTube is blowing up.
It is, yeah.
So,
we've gotten a lot of new subscribers. Games getting out there. We've got some new cool videos from content creators out there. We've made some stuff that's been great, and yeah, a lot of traffic going to the site, especially with our new shorts that have been going up. And I'm very proud to say that my son Sebastian has been. He just turned 18, which are these balloons that are still like hanging here limply in my room.
I was kind of low-key wondering.
From his 18th birthday party. So now that he's an adult,
he can make shorts.
Yeah, he can make shorts. I actually pay him to do that. I'm not just exploiting my child's creativity.
What is his process like? Does he go and find the most titillating clips?
Yeah, nothing titillating. I don't think we have anything titillating on our channel. But hold on.
Does titillating only like allude to like saucy
like
stuff?
Sexual excitement? Yeah, that's how I understand it. I could be wrong, but
you're probably right.
Just the word itself is somewhat titillating. Yeah, what he's been doing is just watching, because he's somewhat familiar with the game, but really just from hearing me talk about it, he's not super connected to it or anything. So he's really just going back and looking at our old videos and then finding funny moments and then turning them into shorts. And it's been really cool to have his perspective on the stuff that we create, and then him taking that and then creating something new has been really great. So yeah, he's done a few shorts for us, and they've really been huge. We did a couple using Riverside's tools as a kind of an early experiment, and those are okay. Riverside is pretty well set up to use its AI functions to look at your podcast and then pull out things that the computer mind thinks is somewhat interesting.
Riverside is the podcast app we use.
And it's pretty good. It's like we've been using it for 3 years, and it's gotten a lot better.
Oh yeah,
it's really fully featured now, way more so than it was when we first started, which was like hard to say. It was barely anything,
right?
But yeah, so those did okay. But the ones that Sebastian has done have really been really doing well, and I think they are legitimately driving traffic to our YouTube channel, which is pretty sweet.
Makes me nervous. Now we got to be funnier, produce
We're
more
so
captivating
naturally
clips.
funny. I don't think you need to try any harder.
Right. That's true. All you have to do, Sebastian, is watch the first 15 minutes and you'll get your clip.
That's right.
And we got to start appealing to 18-year-olds because that's what he's probably going to be looking for. And
Yeah,
that's who's going to be watching us now.
It's they have a youthful vibe to them. They really do. So yeah, it's cool.
It's cool. Thank you, Sebastian. Well, we have a special show today. I say that every time. We're going to be digging into what it's like to go to conventions because Gen Con is this week.
Yeah, it will. By the time this posts, it will be happening. Starts,
by the way,
tomorrow as of this recording.
By the way, that's where Fisher is headed right now. We miss him dearly. So we're going to be diving into that. Those of us who have been to many conventions, or those of us who have sat home, I can tell you all about what I do when I don't go to conventions. Just basically just normal Anders stuff. But what is that? Everybody's dying to know.
I want to know.
Have I been to a convention? I went to the Small Press Expo a few times.
Don't give it away. You gotta let people think about it, and then hang on and wait till the moment of the episode when we talk about it.
Okay, I'm gonna
spoil
it out. Should have said spoiler. This is a spoiler-free podcast. Just letting you know. And then we've got a couple questions, good questions as usual, and we're going to be talking about the stuff we're into. I actually have a doozy this week that I'd like to talk about.
Ooh,
amazing.
And it's probably something that you've heard every other YouTuber talk about this last couple of weeks. So get excited for that.
Did you just call yourself a YouTuber?
I did. We are all YouTubers.
Technically.
Oh, no.
no.
Wait, I was going to say, do you want to plug your son's cool video game YouTube?
Oh, sure. Yeah, you can find him at little old red on YouTube. He's done a couple. He did a couple of fun little commercials, fake commercials that we featured on a couple of my solo playcasts.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but yeah, he streams. He's been streaming video game playing like Friday, Saturday, Sundays in the afternoon, and on Mondays he does a improv story stream where he just has a story idea, a vague story idea, and then tells a story in about half an hour, and he's just making it up as he goes along. He's very talented at that. Some of them are really funny. So if you want to check it out,
awesome.
check out his channel. Some of his videos have been, have been doing pretty well, which is cool. He usually plays like kind of obscure-ish, not really obscure, but more indie games. Those are the videos that do the best for him.
Yeah, you sent me one where he was reviewing Katana Zero.
Yeah,
which is really cool.
I've done my best to raise a cultured gamer. So I feel like his taste is relatively exceptional, and his understanding of him is quite good. So
it's true. It was really
I
cool.
am also very biased as his father.
Yeah, I feel like if I had a kid.
Oh, sorry.
And I was just saying, I feel like if I had a kid, I'd be like very discerning about like the games. Like, oh, you're playing Madden? Like, get that out of your hands. Like, it's a better game.
Yeah, exactly. Well, wasn't your dad kind of like that with you?
Not so much with video games, but with board games, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
With board games, for sure. Yeah.
Andrew, when did he start becoming more receptive to your influence? Because my daughter rejects anything. If she senses that I want her to like something at all, she can like read my mind, and she's like, "Oh, you want me to like that? This sucks."
Yeah.
Like the other day, I was playing a song that I think is very cool, and I could tell it piqued her interest. What's this? And I said, "It's Panda Bear. Do you like it?" No. As soon as I said, "Do you like it?"
That's awesome.
No,
No, my kids are pretty good about that. I think. Well, yeah, I think Sebastian. He's probably the most easygoing person I've ever known. And at least with video games, I think I've done a good job of introducing him to good ones where he'll play it and it's awesome. So throughout his entire life, if I suggest like a movie or a game, he trusts that it's going to be good because it always is.
That's cool.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever led him astray as far as his tastes go and what is appropriate for the moment or the time.
Will he say when he doesn't necessarily like something too much? Or he
Yes,
always loves it.
Mostly those are the games that he discovers on his own. Yeah. If it's coming from me, then you can kind of count on it being somewhat of a classic.
Yeah, and he's like, my dad's into this. He gives it more of a chance, probably.
Yeah.
Fatherhood.
It's great.
Evan, you said you have the same problem as I do.
Oh yeah, just with like movies that I feel like she'd be interested in now. She hasn't quite taken to yet. I put on like some Ghibli movies, and she's like, I just want to watch a Disney movie. And I'm like, okay, all right,
Yeah,
not yet. I did have a weird, funny experience where I had. Have you all seen the movie Labyrinth with David Bowie?
Oh yeah, of course.
So I was thinking about that one song, Magic Dance, that he sings.
Yeah.
It was just stuck in my head, and I played it on YouTube for her, and she's obsessed with it now.
Oh no,
She just wants to watch Magic Dance all the time. It's so weird. And then I tried to show her the movie, which is kind of like risky. She's, it can be kind of scary.
Yeah.
And she didn't really care. She just wants to hear the song, see the baby cry, and then smile. I guess, I don't know.
I know the stuff they're drawn to about it. I like when the baby smiles or cries. Yeah. Alrighty. Let's why don't y'all tell me what's happening before we get into the special topic. So what's happening? I said it.
What is happening? I think when I was writing in the what's happening here, the thing that really came through the most was like, this is kind of like a time where we can like breathe a little bit, which is pretty exciting.
Except we for have those dang wildfires, right?
Oh God, yeah, not literally breathe. I was in I was in Santa Fe last week. It took we took a little family vacation, and man, the air. Have you ever been to Santa Fe, Anders, New Mexico?
Yes, I have.
The air there, so good.
Is it?
Oh,
I remember going to Taos nearby and kind of feeling that way as well.
Yeah. I've been to Taos. That was like one of the first places. That was, I think, the first place that my wife and I went to on vacation when we were together. Yeah, so we haven't been to actually Mexico since then. It was really great. Anyway, on the topic of breathing, the breathing was nice there. Fulfillment is almost done in the States, which is super exciting. Fulfillment is ongoing in Europe, and I think just about to get going in the UK. I think our fulfillment partner out there was just waiting on some money, and I think that is with them now. So I think that's going to get going. Everything is produced. Covenant is sending out their orders. The game is pretty much sold out in distribution in Europe and in the States, because we were with GTS in the States and they've already gone through all of their stock. So now we're looking to the next printing, which is going to be in China, because we're doing that production with like some smaller European countries could only afford to do a few copies that we wouldn't be able to afford to do in Europe or the States. And we're going to be doing, the Chinese version and the Korean version. And we'll be doing printing some English there. Again, mostly intended for China and Australia, because that's the most, the closest place for them manufacturing wise that we could conceivably do. But we may end up throwing on some more English for Europe while we're at it, because that's the next thing coming up. So exciting times. And and we have the shadow drop coming soon. That's we should be getting proofs at the end of this week for that. So that is going to be coming very soon.
That's exciting.
So stay tuned for that, everybody. And we've been presented with a lot of really cool opportunities that are in very early stages right now, but could really bring in and essentially usher in a new era for our company, which is really cool. So it's a cool time. It's a cool time right now to be us.
Serious. Anything else happening?
Work wise?
Yeah.
I don't think so. You guys have anything else you want to add? That's what's happening with you? Evan already talked about his shirt. Maxine's got a great shirt. Everyone has great shirts today. I also have this shirt. This shirt was also made by my son Sebastian, but when he was much younger.
What is that?
That's cool.
It's a little. So I drew a little face on a piece of paper, and then he drew around the face and did this thing, which reminds me of some kind of like the stones in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Oh yeah,
It kind of looks like a sacred stone or something. But I really like this little guy kind of encased in this stone or
Me too.
cocoon or whatever it is. I love this shirt, and he did it when he was super little. So
Cool.
It almost looks like one of the weird spirits that would be in Spirited Away.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
Did you screen print it then, or would you iron on something?
My wife got it. My wife did that for me for one of my birthdays.
Oh, that's
many
sweet.
Years ago.
That's a cool gift.
That's cool.
That's great.
Turns out you have the best shirt of all.
Yes, in a lot of ways, perhaps, though visually maybe not as stunning
as
Mine's
ours.
Perfect camouflage for a particular kind of wallpaper, though.
Yeah.
So if I'm ever being pursued,
If you're ever staying at the White Lotus Hotel.
yeah.
Well, conventions. We all love them. We've been to many. But what is it like? Let's talk about it.
That was an excellent ad-libbed intro, Anders.
I feel like it should have had cuts where turn to the camera over here. Conventions. What am I thinking of?
Get a camera
Crossfade.
Yeah.
If only you had cuts like that and we were all just stuck in these static frames, that'd be so funny.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Yeah. We can always do more post-production work on these podcasts to really fancy them up.
Sebastian. Summer job.
That's right. So what were you talking about? What is your convention experience, Anders? Have you gone to any shows of any kind?
I've gone as a attendee.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I think we're not just talking about going as
tablers,
as exhibitors, but also as attendees.
When I lived out in Washington, D.C., I went to the Small Press Expo a few times. I used to be really into indie comic books and smaller publishers Fantagraphics and Drawn in Quarterly, those kind of comic book publishers.
That's cool.
So I saw they always had big names there, so it's fun to walk around and listen to Daniel Clowes do panel discussions, and I saw some cool people. Jeff Smith, the Bone guy.
Yeah,
I loved it. It was great. Got signatures on stuff, and that's kind of the extent of. I haven't done. Not really a convention guy.
Did you know that Jeff Smith lives nearby Joe?
Oh, really?
Yeah, they live in the same neighborhood.
Do they say hello?
Yeah, I don't know if they said hi to him.
He's probably pretty wealthy, eh?
I imagine.
Because those things are in every elementary school.
I love Bone.
Me too.
Such a good story.
Black and white tome.
Yes, I do not like the colorized Bone.
Bad. They did a bad job with that, but
no. Unnecessary.
Probably more appealing to kids, I guess. They don't care. But yeah, the color just removes all that cool vintage comic line work,
Yeah, it's just such great black and white.
Yeah.
That happened with trade paperbacks of like Marvel like collections. Like I mentioned before that I collect West Coast Avengers, and they'll take like a iconic one of the comic book covers of that series, and they'll slap it on a trade paperback, and they recolor it somehow,
Yeah.
or it just looks bad. They use a lot of
Modernize it.
gradients, like very smooth gradients and stuff, and it's
Yeah. Same with
Mhm.
Bone. That's what we want. Looks old if it doesn't have a gradient. Anyway, we digress. That's my experience. What was your first? Let's go there. Let's keep ad-libbing. What was your first convention, Andrew?
Oh, mine?
Yeah.
My first convention was a comic book convention. Yeah, I was big into comics when I was in 6th grade, and that was shortly after my family and I moved from Wisconsin to Ohio, which is like going from very rural area with nothing. Like the closest, big city was Madison, Wisconsin, and then going to Dublin, Ohio, which is just outside of Columbus, which is massive. It's Ohio is like one of the most populous states, and so that really opened up possibilities to like go do and experience things that were just not possible when I was living in Wisconsin. One of those things was going to comic book shops, and not just one comic book shop, but there's multiple comic book shops. And as a kid, I just loved it. And yeah, I went to, I think it was it was just like a hotel, like at like a Radisson or something, in like their like banquet hall area. And it was just, I don't remember much apart from I really wanted to get a copy of G.I. Joe #1 because I had collected G.I. Joe, and that was one of the few that was missing from my collection at the time. So I remember I dropped like $25 of my own money on a copy of G.I. Joe #1, which is now I think worth less than that.
Do you still have it?
I do. Yeah, I do. And I later went to a different I went to kind of, I think that same comic book convention again, like the next year, and I got Uncanny X-Men 101, which I think is still worth something. It's the first appearance of Dark Phoenix. That really cool cover with Dark Phoenix like rising out of the water and like all the X-Men floundering beneath her.
That's cool.
But yeah, I don't really remember much about that. I just remember like holding that copy of G.I. Joe and just my hands just shaking. I was just so like excited to find it and then to purchase it. Yeah, it was really cool. It was really cool.
How about you, Evan? Were you a big convention goer when you were young?
No.
What was
Yeah,
your
it's
first
funny when
experience?
I talk about my background and the things I did with my parents, and like it's so different than other people. Like my parents didn't really go on a lot of trips or take us to a lot of like conventions or anything, so I feel pretty sheltered from it. The first convention I went to was for work, and it was before I worked at FFG. And it was just like not a really positive experience because I was working for a small like scrapbooking company. I was doing graphics for patterned paper and little knickknacks that scrapbookers would buy and gobble up, and it just really wasn't my thing. It was like kind of fun to, I think a lot of the skills I cultivated there like helped me get the job at FFG, but like the actual going to the convention, which was in like Rosemount in Illinois, it was just like not a fun time because I drove there and then I drove back that night all the way back to the Twin Cities, and the whole time there was just kind of
Did you get
stressful.
You also got G.I. Joe #1 there.
Yeah. So yeah, I always sort of avoided cons after that. Like I always weaseled my way out of like going to Gen Con at FFG somehow. And
Did you feel like you had to weasel?
kind
I
of.
felt like that a little bit in the early days.
I guess I felt like that, but who was it that was scheduled or organized all that? Forgetting his name.
Todd?
Todd, yes.
Yeah, Tom.
Whenever I would confront Todd with that, like, oh, I can't go
Or
for
Jeremy?
this reason. Yeah, he'd just be like, yeah, Todd. He'd be like, okay, all right. And I always felt
so
a little
sorry.
like an outcast because everyone would get so excited about Gen Con and going to it, and I don't know. I never did.
You never ever went then?
No.
Wow. So you thought
I guess I would go now, but
you
you
thought that it was going to be just like the scrapbooking?
no. I think it's more about just my temperament and the environments I like to be in. And for better or for worse, I avoid places that I feel like I'm not going to be comfortable in. And then if I do, like with PAX, I realize it's not. I don't know what PAX is like compared to Gen Con, but I was like, okay, it's not so bad. It was like exposure therapy or something. I don't know.
Like a little bit of iocane powder every day.
Yeah.
A little bit of Gen Con every day.
Yeah.
Maxine, I bet you have a convention story.
I've got a few
History.
convention stories.
What's your history?
My first convention ever, actually my first like 4 or 5 conventions ever, was a small anime sci-fi convention in Stony Brook, New York, called Icon at Stony Brook University. They like took over the university campus for like a weekend. And I remember at the time, like, this was my first ever convention. I was blown away. Like, me and my friends at school were like the outcasts, like no one else watched anime, no one else played D&D and like played video games and stuff. It was we were very much like pariahs. And going to this convention and seeing so many people who were into the same stuff as us was like a rush, I just remember it being like the best. It was like the highlight of my year every time we went.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have any money, so I couldn't like buy anything. I couldn't like participate in anything. But we would. It was what first got me into LARP'ing,
Cool.
live action role playing.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a couple. There was like Nero and what I eventually joined up with was a crew called Realms of Adventure. And they were like brand new. They had just started, so we were like getting in on the ground floor, sort of. And I just remember being like, "This is the coolest thing. This is the coolest thing ever. Like, I'm never gonna not do this."
That's
I stopped
amazing.
doing it after like a few years, but at the time, oh my god, it was so cool. And I just remember loving that experience so much.
What sort of LARPer were you? Like a magic user or like a?
I was a rogue. I was sneaky.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was tiny and I was fast, so I could like
Nice.
hide. And because what I thought was cool about LARPing was you actually had to physically like do the things. You know what I mean? Especially the LARP that we went to, where you actually used boffer weapons and you would like fight, with each other. So if you were like a good fighter and you'd actually do well, and yeah, it was so cool. And I wound up being like an assassin, and being like. Because we got in on the ground floor when I was LARPing, we became very powerful over the course of several years because you just gain experience points and there's no limit. So after 5 years, new players would come and they'd be like, "Who's that in the corner?" And it would just be me in like a hood, being like all creepy like Strider, and they'd be like, "Oh, don't go mess with them. They're." they're scary and they're powerful and they have like lots of poison and stuff. It was
So you just sit in the corner the whole time?
But it was so much fun.
You just sit over there and watch. You would just sit in the corner and watch because everyone was afraid of you.
I would just be like a mercenary for hire. People would come to me and be like, "I want you to kill that person. Here's 2 gold," and I'd be like, "Cool, it's done."
That sounds really fun, actually.
It was so much fun.
This is so I'm not I know very little about how LARPing actually functions, and I'm sure there are many different rule sets, but how do experience points apply
Yeah.
So
in
you
a
would,
LARP?
yeah. So in the LARP that I went to, and it is different for every LARP, but in the LARP that I went to, and in a lot of LARPs, you do earn like skills, and the skills would be stuff that you could do like once per day at like a weekend getaway, or once per day per purchase of that skill or something. So for example, I had a backstab ability where if I came up behind someone, normally if you smack someone, that's 1 hit point of damage. But if I came up behind someone and I said backstab, that would be 2 hit points. But if I upgraded it more, I could be like backstab 8, and then it's like that's 8 hit points. And eventually you can get to the point where it's just like, if you tap someone and they didn't see you coming and you say assassinate, they're dead.
Oh wow.
And I also specialized in poison, which you had to like take out of a little bottle and take out the little piece of paper that says poison and apply it to your weapon. And then if you walked up to someone and hit them and you said poison, then they had 10 seconds to drink an antidote or they were dead. And I had a lot of that.
Wow, fun.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And you'd also get like weapon proficiencies and like different you can upgrade your hit points, and you could upgrade like different, if you were a spellcaster also, you had mana, and you had different spells that you could cast which cost different mana. And when you cast a spell, you had like a little packet of birdseed that you could kind of palm in your knuckles, and you throw it and you cast the spell, and you'd be like, fireball, 10 damage. And if it hits someone, then they're like, I'm on fire.
That's awesome. Does it have a environment that's kind of like improv, where it's like everyone just says yes, or do people end up arguing about rules like, nah, you didn't?
Yeah.
No, it's pretty.
I turned around in time, you didn't backstab me.
There were sometimes occasionally there'd be conflicts, but for the most part everyone used the honor system and just went with it. And like if you got like occasionally there would be an instance where someone was kind of cheesing it a little bit and they'd get a talking to or whatever. But for the most part there weren't any like, I don't remember a time in which we just stopped playing to argue.
Oh, that's good.
That never happened.
That's good.
Yeah.
I got to see like a documentary on this or something.
Oh, there
are documentaries.
Is there?
There's
I'm
pictures
pretty sure.
of me from LARPing. There's pictures of me on like Facebook and stuff.
Oh, nice.
with my I had like at one point I delved into like being a ranger, so I had like a ranger outfit and I had like a bow and I had like, and I was
That's awesome.
Sorry,
my
my
first ever Gen Con, when we went to Gen Con for the first time, it was before I joined the company. And I think I told you a little bit about this, Andrew, that my Gen Con trip from hell, where we were so broke that it was me and my ex, and we drove to Gen Con from New York, all the way from New York to Indianapolis. We didn't have a hotel room to stay overnight, so we just slept in our car.
Oh, man. I don't remember this. Maybe you may have told me, but I don't remember.
It was
intense.
Bad. It was bad. And we her wallet got stolen. Our badges, we lost our badges at one point. Like everything that could go wrong went wrong. It was nuts. And it was still one of my favorite experiences. Like, yeah.
That's awesome. What made it what about the experience made it so good that it was unspoiled by so much difficulty? Or was it the difficulty that made it more special?
The difficulty certainly made it memorable. I don't know if it made it special, but I just loved seeing so many people who were so pumped for the same stuff that I liked in one place. Like it made me feel it was very validating. And it made me feel very like, oh, I'm not weird. Like, this is normal. Like, this is a cool thing to be into. Like, and that was also the year that Netrunner released. Oh. So I remember being at the front of the line and rushing to get my copy of Netrunner and being so happy that I got my copy of Netrunner.
Yeah,
that was a huge part of it.
Yeah, you could have flipped that and made back everything that you spent at the show.
I easily could have, but I was like, no, this is mine. That was also the year that I met Caleb for the first time.
Yeah.
I went to the Battle of Lake Town event for Lord of the Rings, the card game, And I was like, wow, this scenario is really hard. And he's like, well, if you want to be a playtester, you can sign up. And I was like, I would love to be a playtester. And that was what got me the in that eventually got me hired at Fantasy Flight.
That's
Crazy.
awesome.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That was better than my first interaction with Fantasy Flight, where it was like, here's my portfolio. Like, yeah, that looks cool. I'll get back to you. Crickets.
Oh, no.
So, what's it like now? Now that you're in the industry?
Different.
Yeah, the magic is gone.
I wouldn't say the
is
magic
different.
is gone. Yeah, it's different.
It's a different magic, I think, which I think we've talked about every time we've come back from a convention. It's
Right.
like it, at least for me, and I know that I don't know, you guys have said similar things. Is that the being able to interact with fans and being able to, I think, access that enthusiasm and affection so directly is really cool.
Yeah.
And I think I sincerely hope that all creators who attend conventions experience that thing, and there aren't people who are like coming to them like angry and venting their frustrations at people. But I think like that for me, like that's the biggest takeaway I always get out of going to a convention, and I think is always the thing that makes it worth going. Having been to so many over the years, and then obviously having our own company, being at these conventions, it's different than like when we went with FFG, where like a lot of the preparation and all that stuff from my perspective was very much happening over there. and we just go and follow directions and do our stuff. Like one year, like early on, I think one of the first Gen Con I went to when I was with FFG, we're still pretty small, and I remember it being just such a mess, like trying to get, like it was just so like poorly organized, and like no one had time to go on breaks, and everyone was grumpy, and
Yeah.
it was just terrible. And I remember the second year I was like, hey, I worked for several years at Starbucks as a shift supervisor and a manager, and I did scheduling. I said I could make the schedule so that people can actually like go on breaks, and we have overlap and make sure everything's covered, and then people can even have like an hour off, because that would be amazing. So I did do that one year, and it was way better.
Nice.
And then
So I have you to thank for that.
well, at least for like getting the ball rolling on that.
Yeah.
The years afterwards, I did not do it, but I definitely, that kind of like marked the beginning of us changing, slowly changing how we approach things at FFG. Because like even back then, like I think the last one I went to before because like Evan, I also skipped a lot of them. My son Sebastian was born in the summer, so I didn't go, the summer he was born, and there were a couple other times I think that I didn't go kind of after that, after having kids, where I was like, I should be home. But then ended up going again. But one of the things that I really disliked about going was the accommodations, like where you'd have to share rooms and beds with people.
Oh yeah.
And
people who snore.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm not like so like, oh, I have to have my own bed, but I mean at the same time, like I want my own bed. Like,
Yeah,
I'm an adult. I want to sleep and get a good night's sleep and feel good in the morning. But it was really, really hard to do that in an environment where like you're not everyone, because not everyone goes to bed at the same time. People snore. Constantly aware of like I'm Because like when I'm in bed with my wife, like very cuddly, like lots of cuddling happening. But then when I'm there with someone else, like I'm like constantly aware. I'm like, I don't want to like roll over in the middle of the night and be cuddling with my coworker.
Yeah.
So all those things are on your mind when you're trying to sleep and you end up having a crappy night's sleep. It was terrible. So when we
Just
finally
cuddle.
got to the point where we could each have our own beds, then they became more appealing to go to the show again.
Yeah. There
I
was
had
something.
no idea that you all shared beds.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many in
4
a
people
bed?
to a room.
just two
Whoa.
to a bed. It wasn't too
Yeah.
crazy. We weren't like packing in there like sardines or anything.
Yeah.
Charlie's grandparents.
It was that like before we had HR.
That was
also.
before HR. Yes,
Definitely.
yes, it was before HR.
Yeah. I just remember like there was something special about those. I hesitate to call them early Gen Cons because I joined in 2012, but are early for me.
Yeah,
Those first few Gen Cons that I went to in like 2012 to 2015 I felt like more bonded to my coworkers than I think ever before.
totally.
It was very much a bonding experience, and it was like, I remember Christian used to call it our Super Bowl. And
I think that's what Steve called it.
Steve used to call
That
it
was
that?
part of his.
Okay.
That was part of his speech. Where he
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like, "This is our Super
This is
Bowl.
our Super Bowl.
And if it doesn't make you excited, then you're in the wrong business."
Oh no.
I don't know about that, but
Then-
it did feel like it was something special. It was, I don't know, like getting on the bus and like watching Midnight and Hocus Pocus and like other, I don't know. It was, very special experience, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Like for all my complaining about like having to share beds, like it is like back when it was, all hands on deck, everybody went, everyone pitched in. You felt
Yeah.
like you're a part of a group that was like being scrappy, and when you would find success, you'd feel really good about it because you felt like you really directly contributed. Same feeling about that we've talked about before. I think about the old Christmas sales
Oh yeah.
that we would do, where it
Yeah.
was like everyone just stopped their jobs and then went into the warehouse and packed orders for a couple
I
of
love
weeks.
that.
Yeah.
I
So
love that.
absurd in retrospect.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to think that I experienced a little bit of that with just the times that I've gone to PAX with you all. Like,
Oh yeah.
there's like definitely like a trench foxhole kind of fellowship feeling
Yeah.
when everyone's doing the same thing and striving to like do your best, and you get those moments where you get to sign a box, like a copy of the game, or meet with someone who really appreciates a certain aspect of the game that you had a hand in, and it's always so
Yeah.
gratifying and felt good. And I can't imagine that early Gen Con FFG days were any smaller than what we are right now. Or
Yeah, I
maybe
was
they
gonna
were.
say,
I don't know.
like
No, they
even
were
more
always
so.
bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's even more so when you're a team of 8 people. Like,
Mhm.
there's no one there to pick up the slack. It's just the 8 of you. Like, you gotta all be pitching in and helping, and very much a bonding experience.
Mhm.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah,
Well, I think that was a nice little conversation.
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, I
Go-
will say it like before we move off the topic, like conventions have changed a lot for me recently because I am super bad with faces and names. And people will come up to me and be like, "Hey, Maxine, I met you 3 years ago at Gen Con," and I'll be like, "I'm so sorry, I don't remember." But like, I, in person, I'm like, "Oh, yeah."
Of course.
And sometimes I get stressed out by having so many people around lately. That it's a different experience for me now, but it's still fun.
Yeah, I mean, you're a celebrity. You can't
No,
expect to remember all the fans.
no, it's more just that I have anxiety now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this will be my first Gen Con since 2019. I have not been back since I was
Oh,
there
wow.
with FFG and doing my final in-flight report, and
Mm.
telling everyone I was meeting with that I was leaving the company.
It's been a while then. Wow.
Yeah, it's been a really long time. Yeah, it's all pre-pandemic. So
I remember I was watching the stream on my phone in like the Harmar Mall parking lot running errands or something. I don't know why I remember that moment.
Of the in-flight report?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It's just a funny place to experience that for me.
Yeah, that was a pretty fun one. I liked doing that. I think that was the year we announced Marvel Champions.
Mhm.
And also, like, I had to ad lib at a moment because the screen went out when I was thinking. I think I was talking about Genesis, and I had just making jokes. It was the best part about the presentation. I thought I was killing. It was really good. And it was like that was the biggest crowd I'd ever done a presentation for, which was pretty nerve-wracking, but fun. It was good.
It was good.
It was good.
So you're heading out? You're heading there this year?
Yeah, I'm just going for a couple days. So Fisher's leaving today because the show starts tomorrow, but I'm not showing up until tomorrow. And
where is it?
Indianapolis.
All right, beautiful.
The Indianapolis, the Indiana Convention Center, and every hotel for 10 miles around.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard it's gotten just. I've not been there since it sprawled to Lucas Oil Field, and maybe that first year, or maybe that year in 2019, maybe they started to go to the stadium where the Colts play, but I don't remember.
Yeah. They started doing stuff in the stadium, but it's like easy to miss.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Well, now it's even more than ever, from my understand.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty massive. It's very sprawling.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm sad I'm not going this year.
Still time. Still
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Just show up, no plan.
I mean, it's more or less what I'm doing. Like, I have some meetings that I'm doing, but Saturday for me is pretty wide open. So I'm hopeful I'll just walk around and see people's booths and encounter people organically.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite thing to do is just
maybe
shop
play a game
and like look around and like see what's
Yeah, Fisher's also, like, he's not necessarily going to work, so he's going for fun also. Kind of a mix of work and fun. So he's gonna be playing some big cool mega game tomorrow afternoon.
Awesome.
Nice.
Good luck, Fisher. All right. Well, that brings us to our old mailbag. It's officially called the mailbag now.
It's overflowing. We have so much mail in our mailbag. So in advance, apologies if we've not read your question yet. We have received it. It's just deeper in the bag.
Maybe the days of answering every single question are over?
No.
Okay. We'll get to them.
We'll
have to do a mega...
If we ever do that, that'll be the final episode of the podcast.
Okay.
We go out.
I think maybe a mega mailbag show is in order.
We did one of those. One of those. Yeah, where it was essentially just all questions.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Just no topic, just questions.
So let's dig in. First question comes from Killer Maine. How did you end up with the deck building rules of 5 cards from background and specialty, 2 copies of each instead of pick 10 from each, and max 2 copies of each? I imagine considerable time was spent on this topic in the early development of the game.
Well, I will say, so Fisher's not here, but I feel so he might have had more to add to this, but I will say that I don't think we really discussed it that much, apart from that we wanted deck building to be fast and simple. And that was really the idea, especially out of the core game. We're obviously complicating it a bit more with our Ranger card expansions by adding more cards to the existing backgrounds and specialties. So that having just gone through that process with my friends, it is more complicated when you add Stewards of the Valley, and it'll become more complicated over time. So if you're someone who wishes they could just put more in their deck, you will at least have more options as the game ages and there's more that comes out. But really, it was just so that you could build your character and then get right into the game where you're not overburdened with choice at the beginning. Because I think that for a lot of people coming into, this style of game, the deck building process is one of the most daunting things, and it can really put you off of even trying the game out. And there is obviously the ability for us, and we have on our website to create. We have created, pre-constructed decks where you can just, grab those cards and play with them, and that's how we kind of onboard people who want to skip that step. Like in the LCGs, so we did with Arkham Horror, we had we had deck lists and Marvel Champions deck lists that you can use, but I really wanted people, I'll take full responsibility. I really wanted people to invest in creating their Ranger from the beginning. So I think we may have talked about this on the podcast in the past, but Fisher and I did a blind playtest with a couple people at the Source Comics and Games, where we were testing out the rule book to see how we may have even talked about it on a very early episode of the podcast after doing it. But we wanted to test out, how people engage with the rule book, and then how do they, go through deck building. And what we found is that, at least with that group of that very small group of two, was that the presence of the pre-constructed decks essentially like undermined the entire rules onboarding process, where they went straight to the precons. They started like scrounging for the cards and like started to put it together. They had no context for what any of it meant. And then they thought they understood how to play the game because they were gathering these cards. And then they started to try to play and, were frustrated at being confused. And anyway, I remember just in that playtest, just like sitting there, like quietly, like smoldering and just writing furious notes about how frustrated I was by the whole thing. So anyway, a long-winded way of saying that, really the reason why we did that is we just wanted it to be simple. And of course, as you play, you're going to be replacing so many of those cards anyway. So like you could agonize over those choices, or like add a lot of those cards in, but you're really just setting the foundation for your deck that will drastically change over the course of the campaign.
Nice. Thank you, Killer Main. Our next question comes from Garav. Knowing that there are erratas in the second printing that are not in the first, how is the Living Valley going to handle that?
So I don't actually think there are any erratas that we've issued, like official erratas that we've issued that are in the second printing just yet. But if and when we do, they'll simply say in the Living Valley, this errata affects the second printing. Right. Currently, all of the card errata that are in, and I think all the campaign guide errata that are in the Living Valley affect only the first printing. But yeah, that's how we'll handle it moving forward.
Yeah, I think the way that the question was worded like threw me off, because it's like, knowing that there are erratas, like,
I'm like,
are there erratas? Like, I don't actually think there are. I mean, I feel like I know what's going on, but I maybe there are erratas I'm unaware of. I have no idea.
I think there are erratas that we are considering.
I see.
But I don't think there's nothing that we've officially put on the Living Valley as being a second printing errata.
Yeah, I feel like we covered the big stuff with from the first to the second. So yeah, I would imagine if there are any erratas that we issue, they're going to be really, really minor and not super impactful.
As far as the core set goes, there is one errata for Legacy of Ancestors that is on the Living Valley. So I guess you might call that the second printing, but really it's the first printing of Legacy.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah. It's part of the wave that is the second printing, but it's the first printing of Legacy. So it says this errata affects the first printing because it's talking about Legacy.
And I think maybe I shouldn't say this out loud because I'm not sure if it's 100% true, but I think that we actually caught that errata post giving the files to Delano, but pre-printing in Europe. So I think it actually, that errata, I think only affects the US printing of Legacy.
I think you might be right. I think a lot of the translators have that fixed in their versions. So all of the other languages, I think, are fixed for that one.
I think so. So I think it's just the U.S. printing because of the way that those rolled out. But essentially, like if you go to our errata and you look at your card and you're like, this looks right, then you don't have to worry about it.
And if for campaign guide stuff, if you just use the Living Valley campaign guide, it's all up to date.
Right.
So,
exactly.
Very good. Next question comes from Dr. Z. Does the team have any intentions of trying to use rangers in educational settings to raise awareness of environmental issues? Or do they know of anyone who's already doing so? Gamification is such an effective way of getting concepts across to students of all ages. Is that gamification if it's just
a game?
A game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Gamification of something, I guess.
I don't think so. But this is a doctor. So we...
Dr. Zoidberg.
It might be. Does the team have any Dr. Zoidberg impersonation?
Do you know of anyone who's using rangers in an educational setting?
I think he's just saying like people. Was he talking about using rangers in an educational setting, or?
It sounds like it.
Yeah, I think that'd be tough. So I've talked about kind of my thoughts on educational games and environmental focused games in the past. I'm not a huge fan because I just think it's boring and it's depressing. And I don't know if anyone who wants to go to a game to be bored and depressed when they're, when you're trying to like bang them over the head about some environmental issue. I think Daybreak did a pretty decent job of making that topic reasonably fun and not oppressive.
Mm.
But I played it and I've never wanted to play it again. So, but again, that's just me.
Yeah.
It makes me think of like when I go to look for children's books for my kid. And it seems like the only thing they're publishing these days are like, socially aware baby and stuff. It's like, what kid's going to be like scrambling to read that every night? I want to read Anti-Racist Baby tonight again.
Yeah. Please.
It's like, I mean, I understand the value in teaching these things to your kid, but like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I feel like with Rangers, I'd never want to beat people over the head with anything. I don't want to get on a soapbox and preach. I really have always wanted it to be about like just presenting a way of being that was more in harmony, and then presenting themes and stories that allow you to think about things in a deeper way, and come to your own conclusions. And that's really how I feel about this type of stuff. And like, as far as like environmental issues, and I know this is like, obviously there are a lot of environmental themes in Rangers. But I think from my perspective, Rangers is more about humans and our perspective on the world and our place in it, and trying to just present a different way of being that you could imagine for humanity. But I think Rangers as a case study in manufacturing would be interesting in a college setting, or if you're interested in manufacturing, or the impact of consumer products on and post-consumer waste. I mean, that's really been the like if the only thing that I feel like we focus on is regional, trying to be as regional as possible so it doesn't have to move around very much, and then reducing waste. But everything else, like, I'm not in a place where I'm like raise awareness about climate change. Like, that's not what we're about. It's really about focusing on the things that we can actually literally materially impact, and that's post-consumer waste, which is a huge problem.
Cool. Thank you, Doctor, for your question. Next question comes from Derek.
I like this question. Very, very different tonally.
Say your son has a degenerate friend who steals his really good Pokemon cards. What would his harm threshold be, and should a wrist-mounted darter suffice?
Whoa there, Derek. So you're saying your degenerate your son's degenerate friend does not have the friendly keyword, so they can't be targeted by the darter?
Yeah, well, technically.
What do you think, Evan?
I think maybe if they're like Nerf darts that hurt a little bit more than a conventional Nerf dart, but not as much as like a rubber bullet.
So all of my Nerf guns, because I have the Rivals set that have like foam balls.
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, that shit stings.
Yep.
Really?
I love those. I have a ton of them.
Oh,
You guys ever want to do a Nerf fight?
Learning, I would.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Learning so much about your cool extracurricular activities today.
They're all hiding in my closet somewhere, but yeah, I got a bunch.
Every time I see like modern Nerf weapons on the shelves, I'm like, man, my Master Blaster from the 90s will not survive against something like this, and I want to upgrade.
Now, the sadly now defunct Rivals series of Nerf guns are like ostensibly for adults. Like, they're, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
they're more, they're more similar to real firearms in a lot of ways, even though they're still obviously Nerf guns and they're still bright red and blue. But they, I don't know, they're cool. I like them.
They're battery operated, right? Like, they like machine
Some
gun
of them,
fire.
the automatic ones are, yeah. A lot of them are still mechanically operated. Like, they still, require you to pump or pull or whatever. But
cool.
So what is the harm threshold of this child?
Well, most humans in Rangers have a harm threshold of between 2 and 5, so
2.
How
resilient is he?
It's average around 3.
I think there should just be more. If this degenerate friend was represented as a path card, I'd be more invested in like the test you can do, like fitness, conflict to intimidate.
Yeah, so I
the
guess
friend
the real answer is like, how much effort are you putting in?
I think we can leave it there. Thank you, Derek. Next question comes from Diesel. I think that's Vin Diesel. Anyway,
yes,
do it in Vin Diesel's voice.
How does he talk? I don't know. Arkham Horror has card upgrades. Does he sound like that?
Perfect Vin Diesel.
Yeah,
perfect.
Yeah, spot on.
Yep.
Same card, better stats.
There you go.
I'm thinking of
Arkham Horror has card upgrades.
The Iron.
That's more Keith David.
I'm thinking of the Iron Giant. You know, he plays the Iron Giant.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
One of his earliest big roles.
Let's start over.
Arkham Horror with his Groot. It's about as complex.
Oh yeah. It's typecast. Arkham Horror has card upgrades. Same card, better stats. Could EBR possibly upgrade starting Ranger cards through some means similar to Aspirations? Like, what if Oru was upgraded by meeting some card-specific goal?
Oru doesn't need to be upgraded anymore.
Yeah, Oru's good. Yeah. You want to upgrade Oru? Jeez.
Well, we could in the eventual many years down the road second edition of Earthborne Rangers, we can use the Elder's Book version of Oru as the main one, and then the current one as the upgrade.
There you go. Yeah, I mean that could be. Yeah. So I mean I think like for Oru specifically, I think the ship has sailed on that because he's not an aspiration, doesn't have the aspiration keyword. But in theory, future cards with the aspiration keyword could work like that. But I think the way that we've done things and the way that we'll probably continue to do things is with brand new cards as rewards. And when an aspiration turns into something, it'll just be like a brand new card with new effect. I obviously I love the way that Arkham does it, but I really like how Rangers rewards feel different every time. Like when you pick up a new reward, you're like, oh, this is a brand new card. This is cool. You know, it's exciting.
All right. Any other thoughts on that?
I thought I might, but it's really just me theory crafting far away things.
Okay.
Yeah, I think like we did talk about taking that Arkham approach at the very beginning. Yeah, totally. Because I mean, like but then you have to do an XP system, and didn't necessarily want to just ape that one for one. But I really liked the idea of the things that you unlocked, like reminded you of specific memories of doing a thing, and you could then use that as part. That would then become part of the tapestry of your experience when you're recalling your adventures. Or like even when you play, like, oh yeah, that's right, I remember I got this card. When you're playing expansion number 3, you'd be like, oh yeah, I remember when we did this thing, or have those moments. I think that's fun.
Yeah, I agree. That is super cool.
Yeah.
All right. Next question comes from our old friend Cleanse. With Legacy of the Ancestors now arriving from more and more people, can we have the soundtrack for it released soon? Trademark, please. Why is there a trademark there?
It's soon.
Oh, soon. Yeah. I got you.
Yeah.
Note, next Bandcamp Friday seems to be next Friday, August 1st. 4 exclamation points.
That's right. Yes, that is precisely when we will be releasing the soundtrack. This Friday. Yeah. So yes, it should be available now.
Yes, as you're watching this.
So we don't need...
Available now.
It's here.
Yep. Yeah, if you'd like to purchase it, that'd be great. More on Bandcamp Friday. As everyone knows, more of the proceeds go to the creators. I think Bandcamp might completely waive their fees on these days.
I believe so.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would be great. Help support us. Help support Tom. He did an incredible job with this soundtrack. I was listening to it a little bit more this morning because Joe and I were kind of doing the final preparations to get the soundtrack up on the site. And yeah, it's so good. It's so good. It's very emotional. And also, like I mentioned, like a little bit, there's a lot more like sci-fi kind of mysterious and ominous vibes to it. It's a very different feel. But then it calls back the original soundtrack in a lot of great ways too. So it's fantastic. It might be even better than the original.
Nice.
It's at least equally good.
Nice.
If you're a new listener or you haven't watched it, you should go back and check out our episode with Tom Figgins, the composer. I believe it's called Listening Party.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Great episode.
Episode 70 something.
Yeah. You'll find it. Listening Party. Cool. That's exciting. All right. Our next question comes from our old friend Cleanse. When will we see a certain frog emoji joining the other Rangers in their adventures in the Playcast. I believe we're speaking of Chub Frog.
Yes.
Sean. New fan base after last week's episode, maybe? Dying for more?
Sean's got some fans, for sure.
Yeah, people seem to really like that episode.
Yeah.
In classic fashion, Anders, without you, it went over 2 hours.
I saw that. I saw somebody commenting on that.
Whenever Anders isn't there to help keep things in check, it just goes on and on. Well, we did have that one lost episode that Sean and I recorded, which was really fun, where I was playing solo and then Sean was essentially on comms, like critiquing my play and offering suggestions. It was really fun. We had a great time doing it, but the recording got jacked up.
Dang.
So yeah, it was a lost episode. But he'll be in town again at some point in the future. So maybe we'll we are going to be doing a playthrough of Legacy as part of the Playcast. So that'll take another 2 years or however long it took us to finish the first campaign. So I imagine we could probably squeeze him in. But there also might be there may or may not be a thing we recorded while he was here this last time where he might show up.
Yeah. No, it's not Rangers, but
that's right.
But it will be cool.
What else could it be? I wonder.
So sorry. Spoiled it.
Yeah. We played a 4-way Warhammer 40K battle.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Thank you for your question, Cleanse. And thank you, everybody, for sending in these excellent, thoughtful, funny questions every week. And that brings us to stuff we're into or things we're excited about in life. Who added that?
I did.
Okay. Maybe you'll tell us why.
Thank you.
Oh, you did, Evan?
No, I appreciate that that's there.
Yeah.
I added that after our last conversation where, it's not just stuff we're into, it's things we're excited about in life.
Okay, then I'll start with things I'm excited about. Mixing music. That's all I do with my time. I've been honing in on becoming better at mixing music, and I just am obsessed with it.
Nice.
So I'll just tweak a song 30 times and never be satisfied with it. So I've got to figure out how to stop. But I think by doing that, I'm getting better and better. So that's my new. I've done it for many, many years, but I've never taken the time to really okay, how does a compressor really work, and how do I utilize it in this case or that case? So
that's cool.
I think I'm mixing much better these days, and I'll be having some new music coming out in the next few months.
So, awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
That's exciting. I have been wondering if we should do a refresh on the podcast jingle.
Yeah, I can remix it.
Yeah.
New song, everything.
Well, I think the song is kind of
stamped in people's minds.
Yeah, it's too late for that. We can't do that.
Okay.
But I do think you could potentially, do a different mix, throw in some other instruments,
Yeah. Me and Tom should collaborate. Ooh.
That just made me think
we're buddies now.
If we ever when we hit 100, we should do a retrospective clip show that you host, Anders. That's when you can
debut the new.
Yep.
Man, does Sebastian want to put together a retrospective? That'd be fun.
That'd be quite the project.
We'll set up like a set, like a sitcom set, and we'll all pretend like we're looking through a photo book. God, I hated those episodes.
Yeah. We do it we could do it like the stupid Seinfeld finale with all of the the courtroom.
Yeah, the cast of recurring characters.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so that's what I'm excited about in life. It's hard to get excited about things in life these days. I'm mostly obsessed with the terrible things. But one shining spot in this world is Donkey Kong Bananza. I've been playing a lot of that game, and also Monster Train 2, probably that more. But I've forced myself to play something else, and it's almost as addicting as Monster Train 2, which is saying a lot. Because I feel like Monster Train type of games are designed to just get their hooks in you and make you want to never put it down. But Bonanza, I find myself, just playing too late into the night. And so a lot of the reviewers gave it like near perfect scores. I know IGN gave it a 10 out of 10. And it's from the creators of Super Mario Odyssey, which is, I think I put that in my top 5 things when we did that list. Maybe number 1. I don't know. I love Super Mario Odyssey. I think it's so. What I loved about it is that it's just got surprises around every corner. The movement is so fun. You can play it casually, or you can, learn how to do all these kind of cool jumping around tricks with Mario. It's just packed with fun. For my
cool.
ADD brain, Odyssey is awesome. So when I'm playing Bonanza, I'm constantly comparing it to Odyssey, and I don't think it's as good. I think it lacks some of that kind of delightful what's around this corner energy. Like the thing that's around the corner is like it's going to be just another pile of gold, or it's not
Bananas.
as bananas. Yes, no, Banandium gems. Yeah, Banandium gems. Those are the bananas are called. That being said, there is quite a lot of delightful moments. I'd say like 1/5 of the amount that there were in Odyssey, but it's super fun. It's super fun to go smash through everything. That also can become obnoxious. It seems like every movement you make, it like smashes a piece of the ground out, even when you don't want it to. And not like it's janky or anything, but that's the way it's designed. So you do a roll and like a little bit of the ground kind of breaks around you, and the screen can become really like flooded with debris. The camera feels a little bit too zoomed in, and it's kind of, a lot of people have problems with that. It can cause motion sickness for a lot of people. But it's also like a huge AAA Nintendo game, and it's really, really well done. Very fun to play. I think anybody would like it. It's great. I don't know what else to say. Any questions?
I wish it was available for the Switch, because then I'd get it, but it's not.
I don't think it would run very well at all.
Yeah, probably not,
because it stutters. It stutters even on Switch 2, which is
really? It already they already are up against it on the Switch 2 at launch.
But it gets me like thinking though about Nintendo's kind of what's the word? Their philosophy or whatever. They're clearly full of like genius electronics people working there, right? Game designers.
Clearly.
Yeah, and they have to make, sacrifices. And they decided, it stutters. Even like in the trailers, they show moments of stutter. But the gameplay is so fun, you barely notice it. It's here and there.
Yeah.
It's usually like 60 FPS the whole time. And it's worth it. I know they're probably thinking it's worth it to have all these particle effects happening, even if it's stuttering a little bit. And it is. It's pretty cool.
Nice. Yeah, I that was the one game that I saw when they did the Switch 2 announcement, where I was like, that makes me want to get it.
It's magical. It's like, I don't know, Nintendo just knows how to bring the magic every time these days. I think they're getting better and better in that way. Like there are moments where I'm just like, I've never played anything like this. Like so you're going down into the center of the earth, which is kind of funny because every world just looks like it's outside. So you don't feel like you're in a dark cave ever, except for like the opening level. But there's kind of a little mini game in between worlds where you're just flying down this huge tunnel shaft where you can kind of like skydive and float, or you can punch down and you're breaking through walls and gold's flying everywhere. And meanwhile, your little sidekick is like talking to you about what's coming up next. This little Pauline character. I don't know. It just, those moments feel really otherworldly and and fun, and I don't know. I just think like the cartooniness of it is what I need right now.
That's awesome.
To contrast the darkness of our time.
Yeah.
Did you say that the environment was like destructive? Like you can just dig down?
Yes.
Destructible, I think.
Destructible.
Is the word you're looking for.
Okay.
So you can destroy the entire level if you wanted to. Just go punch, and you get these upgrades where you
It's like
become
Red Faction Gorilla.
It is like
That's
Red Faction.
That's what people say, yeah. So it uses like this voxel technology, so everything kind of has its own physics and goes flying. You're smashing all over the place, and the controls are really strange at first, but then are awesome. So on the Nintendo controllers, I guess, what's the bottom one? B is the bottom of the four. What do you call them?
B for bottom.
B is bottom. So B is punch down. The one on the right is jump. The top face button is punch up, and then the side one is punch forward. So there's 3 punch buttons basically, which seems odd at first, but you'll soon find yourself just like, fluidly utilizing them all.
Not gonna lie, my friend showed me that game, and he handed me the controller, and I just kept trying to jump and punching down instead, because I'm so used to the dad button being jump, and I'm just like, why can't I jump? Like, I just keep punching.
I know, I was doing that too at first.
Threw me off.
Why jump when you can punch?
Yeah, maybe that helps you get into the headspace of Donkey Kong, He's just always wanting to punch.
Yeah, just punch. No, it's a magical game. Not as good as Odyssey. I give it a 8.5 out of 10.
That's good.
It is. It's good. It's definitely like, if you're a fan of Nintendo, it's one of their best games ever. So check it out. That's it.
Sweet.
Evan, what are you up to? What are you excited about in life?
So I'm excited about. I'm excited about challenging myself in unconventional ways lately. I mentioned a few episodes ago where I was like, I got nothing. I'm not into anything. And then Anders, I think he made a joke about I'm into sitting and being quiet, or
I thought,
or maybe I said it, I can't remember.
Yeah.
And then I kind of went with that, and I have been trying to do that, and I had mentioned I was trying to experience just being more present, or being comfortable with not doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been just trying different things, and I've said before, I get up early in the morning, and it's an opportunity for me to do something, like play games or watch a show before everyone else gets up. But I've been just kind of like either just like literally sitting there or like laying down, and I guess you could say meditating, or at least trying to. But one of the things I've run into that I've never really thought about before is how easily and quickly my mind just kind of goes into scenarios, and I just start dreaming up scenarios, and it's not really there. I guess it's probably like some sort of survival mechanism, where you're just plotting and planning the future. But at a certain point, it's just not helpful. Like, for example, a good friend is getting married in September, and I'm going to be giving a speech, and I already know what I'm going to talk about, and I'm excited for what I'm going to talk about. I think it's meaningful, and it speaks to like his positive personality traits, and it's like I'll be talking about a memory that we shared. But I keep thinking about it anyways, and different ways to do it, and the nuances of like, well, once I'm given the mic, do I take the initiative? And like, I've never really given a speech at a wedding before. Like, do I just say, okay, I'd like to say a few words, or so I get caught up in all these dumb little details, and it's just not helpful, because I think what's going to happen is it just happens, and that's fine.
Yeah,
right, exactly. Is it gonna? Are you speaking at the reception or the wedding?
The reception. Yeah. So I'm just like, well, is there a way to just like hijack my I don't know, my stream of consciousness, so I don't have to run scenarios in my head all the time? Because I realize that it happens all the time, and it's just so annoying,
Yeah.
And it's just like I don't really have a mechanism to not do that. You know, like I don't know if it's like a habit that someone can break, you know, like smoking or something, or
Well,
if it's impossible.
Well, I can tell you what has worked for me, because I used to do the same thing. And this is just something that I don't know if I heard about this someplace or I extrapolated it from something, but essentially, like if I end up finding myself in that thought loop where I'm just like grinding on, again, like, oh, like, what am I going to say to this person when I see them? Or like, oh, we had this conversation and I wish I would have said X, Y, or Z or whatever. As soon as I become aware of it, like that idea of like becoming aware of the observer, you know, where it's like now you're outside of it and it's not necessarily you. How are you observing it? And you just ask those questions. But as soon as you kind of can gain that perspective, then I like literally scoop it out of my head. like I do that and I send it off, and that works for me.
I
envision it being yanked out, and then I let it go.
I think that's a really fun way to think about it. I was thinking, oh, wouldn't it be fun to just like get into the habit of, well, I almost hijack my own daydream and neutralize it somehow. But
neutralize,
kind of
like Time Cop or something.
Yeah,
like a little more action adventure.
Well, even like this topic, I kept thinking about how I was going to talk about it, and I'm like, well, it's so annoying to just constantly think about something. It's just like the mind just never stops, and I just want to be able to like not have to dwell on something, you know. But scooping it out, I'm gonna give that a shot. I imagine it'll take some time to actually be successful with that. But I really love visualizing, you know, and I'm a huge fan of all those. I love those like Stephen King movies, like Dreamcatcher, where they physically represent the mind as an environment that someone is in, kind of like the observer, like you said. And they have a screen and they're watching outside of the body from a screen, and King loves doing stuff like that. So, you know, maybe I'll just take that sort of tact and be more visual.
That's cool.
So that's kind of what I'm into.
It's a hard thing to do.
It is. It's very hard. And then I'm gonna play Legacy of the Ancestors soon. I just have to get my mission, my last mission from after beating the core game. The what is it called?
The Valley Secrets.
The Valley Secrets. Yeah, thank you.
That's
so
a long
I'm working
one.
through that right now.
Nice.
And then I'm gonna jump straight into Legacy.
Are you playing solo?
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Been meaning to do that for years. One day.
It'll be there when you're ready, Anders, whenever you're ready.
Yeah.
Not going anywhere.
I pulled it out of my closet the other day and I forgot how massive it is. It's a heavy box.
Yeah.
A lot of cards.
A lot of cards in there. It's the extent of my contribution to this podcast. It's a heavy game you guys got. All right. Maxine.
Yo.
What are you into?
What am I into? So, two things. One, I've been getting back into Cyberpunk, the video game specifically,
Nice.
not the genre as a whole. Although the genre as a whole has always been an interest of mine, but I started playing Cyberpunk when it first came out, and at the time I had just spent all that money on it, and I was like, oh man, that's a lot of money. I don't know if I can afford it, but whatever, I did it. And then I started playing it, and it was so glitchy, and it was so buggy. And as much as I loved it, I wound up refunding it.
Oh, you did? You did?
Yeah,
that.
I refunded it.
Wow.
Because they were issuing refunds on PlayStation because it was so buggy. It crashed all the time.
Yeah, I think they took it. They took it off the store for a while.
They did. Yeah, they did. And like it was pretty bad. I mean, it was a fun game. I loved the story, and I just couldn't get into it because it just kept crashing. And recently I saw that it was free on PlayStation Plus. So I was like, oh my God, you know what? I should start over and play Cyberpunk. So I am doing that. And now that it's actually like working, it's a lot of fun. And I've been enjoying the hell out of it. So I'm definitely going to pick up the expansion and I'm going to beat it. And I've just been playing it like nonstop in my free time, and
Awesome.
so that's been cool. Um,
They changed the mechanics of the game also.
They did. I
Hmm.
noticed like there's so much more that they added, and there's so many.
It's
The
way
skill
better than it
trees
was.
are completely different.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, and
The skill trees are meaningful now. When I first played it, I was
yes,
like, none of this matters. Like, it does not
yes,
matter what I do.
100%. And I really love my character. I have points in reflexes, cool, and intelligence. So I'm like I'm stealthy like cyber hacker ninja, with like throwing knives and mono wire and a katana, and like I have all these different weapons that I keep switching between, and it just feels so good. Like,
Cool.
it's awesome.
That's cool. Hey,
Um,
maybe I got to get back into it.
It's great. It's super
It's
fun.
a great
Yeah.
game. Yeah, and
It's really good.
now that I've gotten further in the story too, like the story is very good.
Mm-hmm.
Like very, very good.
You should
Keanu
definitely, if
Reeves
you
is
haven't downloaded it, get Phantom Liberty before you get too far.
Yes. I need to. I'm probably at the point where I need to start pivoting to Phantom Liberty, because I'm running out of side gigs to
Oh,
do
sure.
before
Yeah.
advancing the main story. I don't know how far I am in the main story, but it feels like things are coming to a head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, a lot of fun. Only thing that I don't like is that you can't romance Pan Am as a female character.
You can try.
You can try, but
Yeah,
she turns
you
you
know.
down.
It's fine.
Well, there's probably like a mod or something, I'm sure.
Oh, for sure. But I'm on PlayStation, so yeah. So the other thing that's new for me, I mentioned it in the last podcast, but I'm starting up a new D&D stream with my friends, with my online friends.
Awesome.
So we're playing every other Monday. We started last Monday, except I couldn't make it to the first session, which is highly unfortunate. But you can watch that first session on my friend's YouTube channel. It's my friend Nicholas Corey, who's one of the lead designers for Arkham Now. So his YouTube channel is youtube.com/@NickCorey, Corey with a K. And you can also watch it live on every other Monday on twitch.tv/Nicholas Corey. Again, Corey with a K.
Nice.
I'll be there. Watch me play D&D. My character's really fun.
Sweet. All right. Andrew, tell us what you're excited about / into.
Well, I'm excited because I watched I found a rare thing recently, and that is a good superhero movie. I've watched the two new big superhero blockbusters of the summer. I've watched them both, Superman and Fantastic Four, and I liked them both. I thought they were enjoyable. I ended up, I think, enjoying Fantastic Four more than Superman. I think the thing I liked the most about Fantastic Four is like the first Marvel movie in, honestly, I can't remember when, that requires no knowledge of anything. It's like back to like old like phase 1 stuff when they just did, like Thor and Iron Man and Captain America, and you could just watch those and then learn everything you needed to know within the context of a single film.
Yeah.
And which sounds like it's the most basic, obvious thing that you should do with your story.
Yeah.
But it's taken them a while, I guess, to get to the point where they felt like they needed to kind of do a hard reset. But I thought it was really fun. I don't want to do. Evan asked for no spoilers, so I'm.
You don't have to be. Honestly, I don't care that much about spoilers.
I mentioned one of the most obvious things to Sebastian when I was telling him about it, because like Sam and I went to go see it when he and Rachel went to go do their own thing, and so I invited Sam to go watch it with me, and I told him who the villain was. And he didn't know even that. He was like, "Oh, really?" I'm like, "Sorry."
No.
Yeah, that would have been I was like, "How did you avoid learning that?"
It's like the most. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So do you know who the
Fair
main
enough.
villain is?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So Galactus was very, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was really neat and way better than Energy Orb Galactus
Yeah.
from the old Rise of the Silver Surfer movie, which was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he was kind of like a gas cloud or something. I don't know.
But
But
whatever he was, it was cowardly.
right. But I was super skeptical about Fantastic Four because the other movies just are so bad.
They really are.
They're really bad. I mean, the last Fantastic Four, the reboot one with Michael B. Jordan in it is abysmal, like almost unwatchable. The one before that, the one with Jessica Alba as Invisible Woman, was more fine but very corny.
Yeah, it was more akin to the superhero movies of the time, I think.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't the worst thing ever, but this is way better than that.
Yeah.
Superman I did like, but it's very James Gunn-y. So if you like James Gunn, you're going to get a lot of it. He doesn't let any emotion play out ever. Always undercutting the scene with a joke, which sometimes is good and sometimes is just like, man, let's just let it go. But speaking of jokes, I did hear that the new Naked Gun movie is very funny, so I want to
see that.
Oh, I want to see that. Yeah.
Is that out?
It's out. Yeah. Or maybe it comes out this Friday.
Yeah, I loved those movies as a kid.
Those are some of my favorite movies growing up.
Some big shoes to fill, though. So I'm
sure.
surprised.
Yeah, Liam Neeson's a big man, though.
Now,
I think
as
he's
someone
the perfect
who
choice.
doesn't. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. I just said. I think
as someone who
Neeson's
doesn't
perfect.
really like Fantastic Four, and actively dislikes Superman, should I go see these movies? Are they like that good?
I don't think Superman is going to change your mind.
Okay.
But I think Fantastic Four is worth watching.
Okay.
There are some moments where it's like, where it kind of waves its hand at the plot a little bit, like, don't worry about how we got to here. But apart from those couple moments, I thought it was good. I was entertained.
Okay. And based on where the MCU is heading, it feels like I need to watch it just to know how future movies will go. I don't know.
It's like they do like a post-credit scene that's like super vague. Kind of unnecessary. I kind of wish they'd kind of just like, hey, what if we don't do a post-credit scene?
That would be mind-blowing.
But they did one. They did it. It's fine. But who knows? I really don't care where the Marvel universe is headed. The MCU, like, I don't know why anyone would care at this point. It's so meaningless. I just want a good entertaining film, and this did that. It did it.
Cool.
Did any of you
I hope
see?
you check out Thunderbolts at some point.
Yeah, I'm going to do that when it comes to Disney Plus, I think.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Did any of you watch the new Ari Aster movie, Eddington?
No, I hear that's good though.
Yes. If you're a fan of his disturbing films, you'll like it. I thought it was excellent. But
what else did he do?
I felt icky afterwards.
Okay, well, then maybe I won't watch it.
Oh, yeah.
You might not. Yeah, you will. It's pretty grim. He did Hereditary, Midsummer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are very heavy but good movies.
Very heavy.
Did you see Beau is Afraid?
I've
heard of that.
Yeah.
That's
a wild film. You should.
That one looked
check
funny, but it was it okay?
It is funny in a way, but it's also very dark and strange.
Okay.
Disturbing at times.
I saw Midsummer on a first date, and let me tell you,
oh Jesus,
not first date material movie.
Not a good.
Yeah. Especially given that Midsummer is effectively about a dysfunctional relationship.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
That was harsh.
The only way it could be worse is if you're back as a kid watching a movie and your parents walk in during a sex scene or something. That was always the worst movie experience for me.
Yeah.
Whenever I think of that, I think of Demolition Man.
Demolition
There's,
Man.
there's just like, nudity in there. And I remember my mom would always like do weird stuff when something came on the screen. Like she'd just like stand up in front of the TV and pretend like she had to do something.
So uncomfortable.
I don't think there's any nudity in Demolition Man. There's just there's just like that weird flashing of the mind. Mind sex.
There is one moment where they're like flipping through channels or something on their weird TV, and it's like a woman in a shower or something. Very briefly.
I guess you do see a naked wax Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah. As he's being unthawed or something.
Yeah. They had that at like a Planet Hollywood I went to once. It was like hanging above.
Oh wow.
It's like weird. I guess it wasn't wax. I don't know what it was made of, but yeah, this like Sylvester Stallone in his ice cube.
And he's still...
There's a most recent Red Letter Media YouTube video out that has that as its thumbnail.
Oh,
I don't know if anyone of you watch Red Letter Media, but I don't know. They've been around for a while. They're the ones that
I'm familiar.
Yeah, made fun of the prequels, but I still watch them from time to time.
I still wonder about the 3 shells.
That's right.
Too.
Demolition Man. We'll never know.
You never should.
Yeah. That's why it's so great.
This guy doesn't know how to use the 3 shells. Did you ever see that movie, Maxine?
Which one?
Demolition Man.
Oh, yeah, but it was so long ago.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it recently.
They wipe with 3 shells, and that brings us to the end of our show. Seashells? Do they say?
Seashells, yeah. He doesn't know how to use the 3 seashells.
Good one. Okay, good episode, everybody. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.